Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. My name is Ahyani Bad, and today I will be presenting my culminating project for science, which is the final project of this year. It's divided into three parts. It's divided into three parts. So the first part, which I will be doing right now, is my ecosystem. So for my ecosystem, I have to define the producer, consumer, and decomposer, which is basically an energy flow, titled. So in here, I started off with 5 worms. Now I have 10 worms. I have 2 plants, but now I have 3 plants because another plant grew. And I have grass, gravel, charcoal, and soil. So here are the 3 plants. Here's a grass. I was thinking of cutting the grass, but I didn't cut it just to show this video how much it grew in a matter of like 1 month. Let's say 1 month. I also have some sticks to act as a cave, and I have 2 centipedes. So let's look at the energy flow now. Okay, so the energy flow includes producers, consumers, and decomposers. The producers are the sun and the plants. The sun produces energy for the plants. The plants produce food for, let's say, the centipedes and maybe even the worms. Because worms, they eat whatever they can find other than dirt, because of course they live there. And then my consumers and decomposers are also the worms. And so my consumers and decomposers are both the 10 worms. I also do have 2 extra consumers, which are the centipedes. So what the centipedes do, they munch on the green stuff, which is the grass and plants. And my worms also, they eat whatever they have, mainly the roots of the plants. So the centipedes, the worms, they work as a like a decomposer, because they decompose the soil and give nutrients for the plants to grow. If I didn't have any worms in here, then my plants wouldn't be growing as rapidly, because it's been 1 month. The plants, when I planted them, the grass plants, they're all up to here. Now they're all the way up to here. So if I didn't have worms, they wouldn't be all the way down there. They would probably reach up to here, not this much. This much is because of the worms. So now let's do the heat and regulation, which keeps it inside the jar. So this is heat and regulation, the radiation version. So basically what heat regulation does is it keeps it keeps a jar at a perfect temperature using thermal energy transfer. First, we have radiation, which I'll be talking about right now. So radiant energy, which is energy from the sun, it's also called solar energy. So it passes right through clear glass. According to the particle theory of matter, when this light hits soil and gravel, the particles absorb the energy and start vibrating faster, turning into thermal energy. Now let's do conduction and convection. It's still a part of heat and regulation. So next we have conduction. So the warm soil particles, they bump into the air particles, directly touching them to transfer heat. Finally, we have convection. As the air inside warms up, its particles spread out, which makes the particles become less dense and they rise. When they reach the top of the jar, they cool down and become denser and sink down if the jar is closed. In this case, it's open, so it goes out to the air everywhere. But sometimes what it does is, like, it goes back down, it sinks down, which this thing cools down the jar if there's a lot of heat outside. That's it for part 1. Now let's start part 2. Now I will be doing part 2. So the part two is the greenhouse gas effect and the structure. So this environment acts like a greenhouse gas in Earth's atmosphere. So to represent the greenhouse gas, I've created a stable, warm climate for organisms to protect the greenhouse gas from falling, and to make a stable structure, I used heavy duty glue, 20-inch main beams made out of popsicle sticks, 9-inch cross zigzag 3-layer zigzag structural patterns to using my engineering skills to create a greenhouse gas. What this will do, this will trap heat into the ecosystem right here. So here's the greenhouse gas. What it's gonna be like, it's gonna go over my greenhouse gas like this. So as you can see, like that. And to give a clear view here, I will make this side a bit more clearer. Okay, so I made kind of like a window here to make it clear so you guys can see. So basically, now to trap heat in here, I'm gonna be using two methods. The first method I will be using is an incense stick. So basically, before I put it, let me explain to you what it's gonna be like. So what it's like is I'm gonna have an incense stick here. I'm gonna light it up. I'm gonna use parental guidance to light it up, and I'm gonna put it like right in the soil like that. And then I'm gonna put some clear away so it doesn't hit my grass. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna create carbon dioxide trapped in here, and you guys will be able to see it because of this window. So it's gonna look like this. You can kind of see the thing. You can kind of see the thing, the greenhouse, the incense stick. So it's gonna trap carbon dioxide in here and up. I'll show you when the gas is coming. I'm gonna go light this up with parental guidance, and I'll be right back. And back, here's the incense stick. So I'm gonna put this over here, and now it's trapping heat. So as you can see, the incense stick is going, and you can see the heat, it's going up like that. I'm gonna add 2 more incense stick. I'll be right back. Here are the 3 incense stick lit. So now I'm gonna put this over. Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, so both the incense stick are lit. As you can see right there, let me give you from the window view. So here's a window view. Actually, let me just rotate it so it's easier for me. Okay, so here's the window view. As you can see, that incense stick is lit, that one's lit. They're all lit up, and it's creating heat inside there. Okay, so I just added a little more fire. I can smell the carbon dioxide coming out. So what this is, it's basically carbon dioxide coming out of here. I don't think you can see in the camera, but all the carbon dioxide is going up to here. If you can tell, so basically the entire box is a bit more tinted because of the gas. So while this goes on, I'm gonna use another method. Let me just put these out so my plants don't burn. Okay, so the other method is using baking soda and vinegar. What this does is it creates carbon dioxide and a little bit of sulfur and sulfurobenoxide, which is a type of greenhouse gas that I did some research. So this one I'll just do it like this. So here it made the thing. So now I'm gonna put this right away. So now what this is doing is creating sulfuric acid and carbon dioxide, which is going through. And the bottom, for your information, the bottom is completely sealed with plastic wrap. So now I'm gonna try using both of them together. I have the incense stick lit up right here, so I'll just put one piece here and another piece, the strongest incense stick, over here. and then a little bit more baking soda in here. So now, as you can see, the incense are lighting up a bit more. So as you can see, the incense stick are lit. This one's also an incense stick. It doesn't look lit, but in the camera it doesn't look lit, but in reality it is lit. So yeah. So that's it for part 2, I believe. Let me just... Yeah, so that's it for part 2. Now let's start with part 3, which is the water filter. One more thing about the structure and mechanism is this can withstand up to 30 kg of weight, which is about my sister and half of her. My sister weighs around 20 kg. She stood on this like this and it was perfect. Nothing bad happened. So yeah, that's it for part 2. Now let's start part 3, which is a water filter, pure substance and mixtures. Now I will be doing part 3 of the culminating project. So what part 3 is, it's mechanical, it's a mixture, pure substances and mixtures. So what I have here is a specially designed water filter that has a tap and basically just a water filter to filter a mechanical mixture into a solution, or maybe pure. So basically what I did is I have muddy water. I put muddy water in this the filter, and it filters out into clear water. So also now let me explain to you how the filter works. So the first step, there's a small piece of cloth so any big chunks of sand won't go through. So the second layer, the first layer was a cloth, second layer is a sand. So what the sand does, it catches any small bacterial mixtures to fall through. And then the third layer is aquarium grade charcoal, which is charcoal that doesn't become black when you put it in water. And then that allows the bacteria to get removed a bit, because it's active. And then the next layer is gravel, aquarium grade gravel, which gets the small chunks. And the last layer is big chunks of gravel, which gets the big chunks of mud across. So as you can see, I already poured the muddy water. It already got the big chunks down, and then I'll be back in 20 minutes to show you the results. Here is my water filter after it's done filtering. You can see all the muddy water, all the mud was trapped here, and then here you can see it's still dripping a little, but it's good enough. All the water is fully clear. If I pour a cup of water here, I'll show you. Okay, I just poured a cup, and as you can see, it's fully clear water. And this water I can pour into my ecosystem. So with the tap, there was a small leakage, but that was because I didn't put the tap in properly. So yeah, that's basically it for the culminating project. So when the tap was leaking, what I did is I hot glued around it. It was still leaking, so what I did was I put slap tape on it. So slap tape is basically a tape that can basically prevent anything from happening. So here's my ecosystem. I'll pour this water around it. So muddy water turned into fresh water just in 20 minutes. So yeah, that's basically it for my culminating project. Jazakallah khair for listening. Assalamu alaikum.